This is day 623 of the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi. The sponsor coming to share more of the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi. Please comment me directly. Be very, very appreciated. They were doing Siman Shin Samach Gimel, Sif Samach Aleph, and going to Siman Shin Samach Daled, Sif Gimel. What do we say? Samach Aleph. There's another way of fixing a mobile which is 20 amos wide. What is that? Let's go in 2 amos from the koisel. That's the pastor will make a strip which is 3 tvachim wide. So now you have as if 5 tvachim amos. So you go 2 amos from the wall and make a pass which is 3 amos. Yaskin Gamitzad Sheni, and usually also on the other side of the Mavui. So now you have Oimim Meruba, which cancels out the 2 amos on each side. Well, let him say it. You should have Pesach Yud amos. It's only going to be opening in the middle of 10 amos. Lechi Acher, you need a lechi besides these strips that you made up. Tomato and oil, these strips are not effective. Because they're distant from the wall. Let him tell Shlo Yesh Shlo talking about Koisel. Lechi can't be more than 3 talking from the wall. So, when he says Lechi Tzorch Acher, he's not clarifying where the Lechi is going. Is it going on the side, absolute side of the Mavi, or is it going in the middle gap where there are 10 amos? And it's not clear. Anyway, let's see if it's clarified. This is self an am from the wall, so pass am and make a strip of am and a half, and then go another amma of open space. He has to pass am to make another strip of am and a half. And was also on the other side. Shnei passes am merza, 2 passes am and a half, which they were 2 open spaces of an amma. Also go 2 amos and 2 tvachim. He has a pass of open space. He has a pass 2 amos for 4 tvachim. Make a strip of 2 amos and 4 tvachim. B'tzeh sheni. So on the other end, anything similar. Lechi tzorach acher. You need a lechi, another lechi, as we said. We don't say where to put that lechi. The standing strip has to be broader than the space between the wall and the strip. The located of not, we'd say we'd say that the avir of both sides would come and negate the strip. Because there's 2 avirim which are larger, which would be larger than it on both sides of it. Kol avir who kamo, and also all of the I don't know what he means by that. Even says even if it is same size as the strip, it would also be a problem. I'm not sure why, because Poritz Kumruv is okay. Anyway, it's got to be more than the airspace of one side of it. I guess he's not using Omim Rub at all, so that's why he has to have more of the structure than one side of the spaces, which in this case is the space between the structure and the wall. Because vis-a-vis each one of the gaps, the standing structure is more strong. So passage Shamara, this strip, it doesn't have to be one blank, or one board. In order to diminish the air, the opening of the air of the Mavi. He may put a stave every 3 tvachim, which is not very unsolid. It's also permissible. Anything which is less than 3 is considered to be lavud. So if it's lavud, by definition, it's considered to be closed. Right? And therefore, since being considered to be closed. Sorry, I realized my tire was down before. That's appropriate. I'm sorry. But that's okay. It's as if it's whole. So you put 2 or 3 planks adjacent to each other or more. Oh, now we find where the lechi is. Yeah, they can't go through the side the side gaps, even though the gaps they can't use them, because then the miyasu can't batel taking the mavi's fix will fall apart. Batel lechi matukambo, because the lechi is on the 10 amos in the middle. The name some mavis below tikkun. So they did not put the lechi next to the wall; they put it next to the 10 amma gap. Because the Ritva says, "Im neimich shir b'kor use the beam." V'akora munach mikos on the beam goes to wall to wall. Loich basloni milchum b'kanukam. We don't care if they go this way or that. Achmayra shakora ena magir raka pas rochim yakoso. Let's talk about where this kaira, not the lechi right now, only gets to one of these strips, which is distant from the wall. Vashlei amos hapunim yakoso, and the 2 amos left bare between. Open between the wall and the pass, and because there's no Quran over there. Or afraid to go through those 2 amos. There's no heka Quran. Okay, well that's the case. Wait a minute. The Quran then is not on the 2 walls of the mavui. Well, shouldn't that be a problem? No, the Yishnar came she a pass since it's on the strip. That's good enough. So the Ritva says this proves my point though about lechi, that they shouldn't go in the airspace where there was no lechi, which means then the 2 amos open next to the wall on either side. And by default, we're not going to leave the large opening and go through the small openings. Let me ask you, Cain, why should they do this? Cain named Katzim Behiluch. They're not making their pathway any shorter. There's an issue only, as we shall see later on, where there are openings in the side walls, not in the front. Those mekatzim hill, because then he gives a shortcut. He's barking the same shin samachet. Samakim umavish shavim mitochom meshupel etzad rishus harabim. The mavi, which is flush at the bottom, and then it starts going up at an angle to Rishus Harabim. Rishus Harabim, or it's equal to Rishus Harabim. It's on the same level. And somewhere further in it has a slope. If it makes the slope of 23 degrees, which is 10 fachim over the course of 4 amos, it's as if it's completely perpendicular. That's why mechitza. That's how it's mechitza. Even the people working there. Then it's shum tikkun. You don't need another tikkun. If it's a more gradual ascent, ain't a mechitza. It's not a wall. Elahavi kishar shusarayim and mekarmas like any other shusarayim mekarmas came in noch iluch. So it's easy to walk there. Ain't no zokum because it's not steep. Brackets here. I'm a grammar single man because of the third lo baki rabbin. Okay, Avram says, wait a minute, you can't have you to tell Mislaki there's a wall. People are going to walk over it. It counts as the wall. The Baki Rabim counts as the wall. Chag custom is still some place called Mashmake. Then he says, you know what the place can see to say, even though people walking, it's still a wall. Custom to Bulai Tzorch Bikia Shishim Riba Ayin Sham. Maybe you need to have 600,000 people passing over a tell in order to cancel its status as a wall. Was astounding female slam to see Memtesiv Nun. Answer Jose Ayin Sham Heitev. According to what he wrote, don't need this. And because he said Mefulish is only Mefulish to a Rishus Harabim. And I guess since Mefulish is after the code, I'm not sure why. I have to look back there and analyze it. Because that's the Van Verduk, and there would be evidence what we said back in Mem Tes and Nun. And you should understand that. Again, I assume he's either. It seems he's assuming that this movie opens up into a carmelist. Oh yeah, because that's right. Of course he's doing that because this man said we don't have a shusar rabbi the right, so according to the Hashulchan, so therefore it's opening into a carmelist, and therefore if there's no problem asi rabbi ubat l'mechitzah. Shin samach dalin the movie mefula shema movie akum a movie which has no third wall in the middle, the back. A movie akum a crooked movie, but also can have down one which is made like a caterpillar. Aleph. Aleph is just a pesach mechitza, even though a tzuras pesach we said is a wall. Come them as shusram gomer animal tzuras pesach. For actual shusram tzuras pesach is not effective. Last also shusayachid make it to shusayachid tal to sham to carry there. Talmud shel dover, and the reason is then he the mina Turk shus tzuras pesach tzarech shusram. True, with the raisa, this is which Mishnah Berurah clears. But in any event, with the Raisa, it's considered to be a wall. So it's a mamish a wall. It's when it says Pesach on both sides, on the north and on the south, let's say, because then you have two sources of Pesach and two complete walls. You're in good shape, in theory, right? It's not no sense. Time so when he me talk shows best inside of shoes around coach Kim Shane so Lois Khayb as Zerg Mr. Shoes Yachid somebody throws from that area which is in the enclosure. It is just Yachid is not Chayev because they're both shoes Hayachid and Amida Rice come nevertheless Mirabban Lo Yitir so say which is Ram at small I did says Pesach. Rabbis forbade us to make an area which is Ram itself by Tzurus of Pesach. If entertainment's not astonishing, Shegam a biko lo itan right day Tzurus Pesach mikol stodim. Which goes sam no siman shin samach base see flamet. Also in a biko there's not that you can't. Oh, there's no house, right? There's no house. There's no diurim inside the Tzurus of Pesach. You can't use the Tzurus of Pesach just and then plop it down in the middle of a wilderness and say, oh, now I can carry in this Tzurus of Pesach. Only gets fixed by absolute walls. With glosses and doors, and they should be locked at night. If not the fact the doors are locked at night, be liable on for carrying it. It doesn't have to be simply be locked. Mamish, they should be suitable to lock. It means that they shouldn't be mired in piles of dirt and not be able to be moved. If they weren't mired in those piles, certainly got to remove the dirt. But Taknani got to fix that they should be able to be locked. Even if the official in charge of the city does not allow them to close it, we don't care. The doors make this opening into an opening in this wall. And now you make once you make the doors, it's like a chotzer like 1 yard. And the areas inside don't need a lechi and kaira. So the Arukh HaShulchan's opinion, which is the lenient opinion, that even the doors are not allowed to be closed by the government, it's still considered to be lesser as oil. And so I was at TA up in Washington Heights, Eruv, around Yeshiva University, so they have canisters. They're afraid Amsterdam Avenue is Rosh Hashanah Derais, so they have canisters on the side of the road, which have tarps in them. And the tarps theoretically can be drawn about across the street. I once tried to vandalize one of those canisters and try and get out the tarp, but it was not possible. So theoretically, if you hold like Arukh HaShulchan, the fact that it's there could be spread across, that's enough. The brackets he says here, "V'dai, you should know the zeshom and Yerushalayim and Molid Los Aseninos. Chayavim which will survive, and after the doors being locked, you chayavim which will survive. Avagav dain dinish mechitzas gam to sepesel kumakom sachim. How can it be the Raisa? It has walls and it has Turas Pesach wherever there isn't a wall, and we said that works with the Raisa. Achzel mitam asiram ba'al mechitzah. That's because this is considered to be asiram ba'al mechitzah. They canceled the Suris of Pesach. The murder Shmait Zeluchim Rabbi Yochanan, because the author of that statement is Rabbi Yochanan. We used to make Rabbi Yehuda b'davcha beis. He was like the Yehuda b'davcha beis that we say Asiram Vatla Mechitza. So the masses going through Shari Yafo, wherever they're going, they cancel those shorim. We don't say that. I feel below therefore even those were not locked at night. And Yerushalayim only be a carmelist. The sugi there in Kufal mashma the shuksha patomim. I'm sorry, but sugi there in the Mishnah the shuksha patomim. When the Mishnah talks about the marketplace of the fatteners. I know people made the Ketores. I'm sorry, Peter McTorres. The Gemara Sham Gam came. I leave with Rabbi Yehuda. That's also Rabbi Yehuda. Stam Chachamim Rabbi Meir, and the Stam Chachamim when Rabbi Meir is mentioned, the Chachamim arguing him are Rabbi Yehuda. I did not know that. It makes sense. Maybe I forgot it. Dimke lo kain lo yaspeak to Ruth show Rapapa Sham. Otherwise, the answer Rapapa there would not work. The Duke. And he brings down here in the other brackets. Yesh lo kil karam matur dein tzurich nila dafka. You make it like the Rambam, so you don't need specifically to lock it. I am Prima Gadi. Mishabur writes that from the Chaber it sounds that you need Dafka Ne'ilah, which is Mishabur is obviously more macro than Shul in that respect. Base, the Dafka Shusram Atzmalum Hai Tzursa Pesach. Only for Shusram itself, Tzursa Pesach doesn't work. Avamavi, I'm a full of Shusra Rabim, but a street which leads into Shusra Rabim, which they rush up on both sides, both the north and the south. Or on the north it's open to Shusraim. It's Shani in the south to Carmelis. Only states studying so Carmelis, so open to Carmelis in both the north and south. So it's just the best inside Echad, only it's the best on one side, the Lechi or Mitzad Shani, and the Lechi or Korah on the other side. The Kshaisa Mitzad Echad is best because you make on one side, let's say in the north, the Tzursa Pesach. So then, okay, Hare Yeshu Shlosh Machitz has got 3 walls. It's like any Mavi which has on the fourth side a Lechi or Korah. That's as all the halachas, the parameters of Mavi, she's bar b'simim, of course. That's the normal parameters of Mavi. Lavanav not Yeshul din Chotzer. As Allah Chotzer below Mani Lechi, the Korah Baruch Avis, in which case just a Lechi or just a Korah will not work on the fourth side. El Shnei Pasim or Pasha Arba Tvachim, either 2 Pasim or 1 plank of 4 Tvachim, which is L'Sham as we wrote. But a chotzer which requires a Pesach ain't nafkamina. Makes no difference. Oh, a chotzer which requires a Pesach all around anyway. Because there's gaps more in Teramos. So then it's 2 passing more, fourth one not going to work. Is that what you need to fix on the fourth side? That's when this ruach is open to a shusarab into a carmelis. Alim, but foolish but it goes into a yard. So then, even though the yard is not part of the area, and even though one side is open to Shusar Rabim, and so it's just a Pesach. You know, it's just a Pesach because that Chotzer blocks off access on that area, even though it's not part of the area. But on both sides of the Mavli, north and south, either Lechi and Korah, or Lechi or Korah. Lechi Mekan, Lechi Mekan. Lechi on the north, Lechi on the south, or Korah Mekan, Korah on the north, Korah on the south. The reason is that side of Pasul Chotzer, the place that opens into a yard, have a Kesatz, and it's closed off. The Mechitzas of Chotzer Shmeiv Sheni, the walls of Chotzer on the far side were effective for the Mavi. The rice, and certainly is a Mavi which is closed on 3 sides. Shein Tzarech Lechi or Korah Baruch Leis, and only the Lechi or Korah on the fourth side. That which high, we require a Lechi or Korah even next to the Chotzer. And we're saying that we lag on the Chotzer, yet we require a Lechi or Korah between the Chotzer and the Mavli. And Mishum Heker, Mishum Shum Plus of the Chotzer. Because the Heker that's open to the Chotzer, and now it's carrying the Chotzer, but the Rabbim, The fact that there are rabbim outside the chutzner does not impinge on the Arab inside the mavli either. And doesn't even impede on the mavli. And the Shabbat says that lechi is necessary in order to distinguish the people who live in the chutzner, people in the mavli, that they shouldn't answer on each other. They need a demarcation. So it's slightly different. Back to Arukh HaShulchan. Times I usually suffer the those hold the korah ain't a moil inside a chutzner. A beam doesn't work on the side of the chutzner. And a lechi, only a lechi shum mechitza, because then it's like a wall. Vahavi kisasum. That's if it's closed off. In other words, I'm not sure exactly why that makes a difference. Why the heck could not be enough? I guess the whoever says the Bach is saying that because it's porous chutzner, you need to have something more of a moshe stick, which is of course the lechi. Gimel v'day yishno sheish me'av seish savim mavi and full shusarabim mishnei roshav. They hold their mavi, which is open north and south to shusarabim. Tzarech delas really no mitzad echad. It's got to have a door at least one of those two sides. V'yesh me'av seish savim, those who hold the mavi shurochav shloshes haimam v'shlish, a mavi which is 13 1/3 amos wide. Kashir shoysa b'pas which is the maximum share of pasi biros, those that four-cornered well in the on the roadside. So a movie which is up to that 13 amos, which is already that 13 amos and a third. Sorry, Dino and with some full rosh on both sides it picks back up to 16 amos. So 16 amos here, 13 in the middle, 16 amos over there. We've got a barbell shape. That you need only glossos on one side, not on both sides.